and welcome to Realtor Rentals. I'm Susie Rogers here with my husband David Williams. We're the owners of Northside Video here in McMinnville, Tennessee. So glad to see everybody back this week and hope you've had a wonderful 1st of February. And January got a little rough on us though, didn't it?
Well, you know, that snowstorm sort of hit it, come on, and even though they were predicting it, it was a dry snow, so it blowed around until everybody drove on it.
It did. You know, it kept everybody at home. We couldn't come in and record here at the studio, and I don't know if they even got into work very often.
I don't know, but hey, the main thing of it is we want people safe. I heard from one of the record companies that they had like 124 calls in a 2-day period.
Here in Warren County?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there wasn't many little mishaps.
Well, maybe there wasn't that law enforcement was involved in, but I guess pulling people out of ditches was.
Oh.
And the one guy just said, man, he said, I just wish people would learn to slow down on snow.
You know, we started to Cracker Barrel, Manchester on Tuesday, and you know, you said, we might ought to call, and good thing we did because Cracker Barrel was closed.
Yeah. Well,
and you know it's bad when Cracker Barrel closed.
That's right, and I think even over there towards the co-op here in Warren County, even the Dollar General was shut down.
I think several Dollar Generals shut down.
You know, so.
Well, you shouldn't endanger your employees asking them to come to work when the roads are like they were in January.
That's right, and hey, because you want everybody there, you want people safe, you want them at home. Now, I'm going to guarantee you throughout the Upper Cumberland, I bet the plumbing supply stores were busy too.
Oh, because I've talked to several people who said, my pipe's busted. I didn't have electricity, and I thought, whoa, thank the Lord we did.
Mm-hmm, because you know, this kind of weather, thankfully we don't have that dip in temperatures that often, but when we do, it seems like it really hurts.
It does, it does. Because we're not prepared for it.
Right, and maybe this year we won't have as many trees and shrubs that got bit back like the Christmas of 2022.
Right.
Golly, it's hard to believe it. We go back that far.
It's just a little over a year.
Well, I know, but when you're in 24 and you say 22, it seems a lot longer. But you know, a bunch of nursery people lost a lot of stock and things. Mm-hmm. So.
But you know, we had a lot of down trees and stuff with those inline winds we had a couple weeks ago too, so.
Yeah, a lot of roof damage and things like that. So hopefully though, all of our viewing audience made it through, and if they did have to have a problem, the insurance companies are covering it, and we'll all pay for that in the long run.
That's true. Well, we're gonna talk about some movies.
Let's talk about some. We got a pretty good cast of films on here.
Pretty diverse, isn't it?
Real diverse. And a lot of known actors and actresses in it.
And something for everybody.
Yep.
So this is a well-rounded show, I think, today, but we're going to start off with it's set in the Western times. I don't know if I'd necessarily say this is a Western, but that's what they classify it as. So let's take a look at the trailer for Butcher's Crossing.
Dear Father, I decided to leave Harvard and travel west. I hope to find a stronger purpose and more meaning in my life.
What can I do for you?
I would like to go on a hunt.
This will be one of the biggest hauls anyone has ever seen. Where are we going, Miller? So you're a God-fearing man yourself.
Why fear God?
You don't know. You'll see. Miller, there's no sense shooting more than we can skin. You will skin them, Fred, or I'll shoot you.
What are we still doing out here?
I'm out here to hunt buffalo, haul back their hides, and sell them. When we're done, we'll sure have something to show for them.
You better start running, 'cause it's gonna come down.
That was the trailer for Butcher's Crossing, rated R from Sony. This stars Nicolas Cage and Fred Heckinger. Here again, this is the second. He really must like doing the first Western, because just a year we see him in his second one, and he really showed out for this one.
You know, read different things on it. This is the first time I can ever remember Nicolas Cage with his head completely shaved. Now, yeah, he had some hair loss, but hey, he was coping with that. But needless to say that his character in this is not a pleasant character.
No, he's not he's a little psychotic, I think.
Right, and this movie right here, you know, there as the West was being won and the railroads were moving across and stuff, we about did extinct the buffalo out there. And movies like this shows that all of a sudden people just get obsessed with it.
It was almost like he had a bloodlust to kill these poor buffalo.
Right, and you know, and then if the guys that was with him didn't want to cooperate, it was not a good day for them either.
No.
And, you know, I guess that this started showing where, you know, they were out in this valley in Colorado. It was the four guys, the isolation, the winter, the having to camp through it, to survive through it. All of a sudden on how it started taking effect on the mental capacity of the loneliness and things of that nature, which is not really brought up that often in a lot of the movies.
No, it's not.
You know, but hey, you know, of course, whenever you had the young city guy that left school and stuff and come, he just happened to fall right in there with when Nicolas Cage was needing a backer and things like that. And, you know, and the guys that was with him was really trying their best to say, hey guys, we got enough and we needed to be leaving before we ever got into all this trouble.
Before they got snowed in and everything like that.
Right, and but that was a big problem, and you know, it was actually showed in a few other Westerns whenever you'd see, like the railroads would go by and here's all the bones of the buffalo on the sides of the tracks and stuff. So not the first time, but this one here got a whole different outlook of the hunter's side of the slaughter, I guess.
I guess so, you know. It just wasn't a good day for the poor buffalo.
And, you know, they were just sort of there minding their own business.
That's right. You know, it wasn't like the Indians who just killed one as they needed either skins or hide or food, you know, and that was their survival, and we took it away from them.
And changed the landscape out there.
Sure did. Well, that was Butcher's Crossing, our first movie for today. Let's take a look at the trailer for our next one, which is In the Land of Saints and Sinners.
Try and do some good before you find yourself here.
My girl, don't lie to me.
Finbar Murphy. I'll have something else for you in a week or so.
I've been thinking. Been a lifetime of poor choices I've made.
In the pines.
How many people have you killed altogether?
There's more to me than this. I'd like folks to see it.
Trying to find a friend.
What's the name?
Finbar Murphy has done something unforgivable. You can give him a message. We'll tear right through this godforsaken place. No one will be safe.
In the pines.
The explosion left 6 dead.
Kramer, what is it that you did? I lost track long ago.
A saint's got to be a sinner first, don't he?
I won't have you hurting anyone else in this town.
We're not leaving. People will come. People a lot worse than me.
She left me no choice.
Finbar Murphy's going to war. I'm not missing out on all the fun.
I've seen enough killing for a lifetime. You're at your end. Better make your peace.
That's the trailer for In the Land of Saints and Sinners, rated R from Lionsgate. This stars Liam Neeson and Kerry Condon in our lead role. And this is another action. You know, Liam, he comes in and takes charge, but it's different in a way too.
Right. I'm going to go back to Butcher's Crossing for just a second. You know, we talked about Cage having his head shaved. He said the two people that inspired him to play that role with the head shaved was Michael Jordan, and I was saying that it was Marlon Brando, and Susie was saying, no, it's Robert Duvall out of Apocalypse Now. Well, Susie was right. So,
2 points for Susie.
That's right. But Liam Neeson, sort of not an original type concept, but it's set against the unrest in Ireland in the 70s.
Yeah, 60s, 70s.
You know,
it's went on forever in Ireland.
Right, you know, the
IRA and different things like that.
And needless to say, Liam Neeson, he's just trying to leave his past behind, and it's sort of like almost an Old West. You got to have somebody that comes in and stirs up something, and then you got to go back and dig back into that past.
Well, you got to make your decision, you know.
You know, and then I think even the character that Liam Neeson's decision was okay until it kept getting pushed.
Yeah, so Kerry Condon, which is female, she's the one that's the antagonist, and she just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing because he's went to this little community that he likes these people. They embrace him, and he likes them, and she's pushing his buttons.
Right, and you know, he was able to be there, live his life, nobody was in it. And these people, they didn't know who they got into it with. And all of this started out by, I guess, a fair accidental encounter. But needless to say, the violence, the action, and everything in it, it was real well played. The producer that worked with Liam Neeson on this one worked with him on The Marksman. And he also worked with Clint Eastwood and stuff with Mystic River and stuff. So good people putting this movie together. It just did not get your big theatrical push like a lot of Liam Neeson movies are falling into right now. So take a good look at Liam, though.
Yeah,
He's a long ways from Excalibur.
Right, it is. Okay, that was In the Land of Saints and Sinners. Now we're going to gear it down a little bit. This is a family movie. Get all your kids in to watch it with you because it's just fun. Let's take a look at the trailer for Trolls Band Together.
We are gonna make boy band history tonight.
Bro, you're making Baby Branch nervous.
I feel like I'm gonna barf and pass out and...
Pee your pants all at once?
How'd you know?
Give it up for Rosa!
You suck! My exquisitely chiseled rock-hard abs and I quit.
Branch, we're out of sync. We've gone from boys to men, and now there's only one direction for us to go. The back streets.
Bye. See you later.
Branch.
What? Oh, hey.
Are you all right? You're smiling and crying at the same time. It kind of looks like it's hurting your face.
It does hurt my face.
Oh, baby Branch! I'm John Dory, Branch's brother.
What?
Ow! Former brother.
Drama. Corn me, Dinkles.
It's hard to say I'm sorry.
A brother is a friend who can never leave you. It's the strongest bond in the world. I would kill to have a sibling to sing with. Check out your old outfits. Puffy jackets, puka shell necklaces, denim tuxedos. frosted. You have frosted tips. Ah! Look at you. You were so cute. I love it.
It was an era.
Tragic. Branch, our brother is being held captive in a diamond prison.
There's only one thing that's powerful enough to shatter Diamond.
The perfect family harmony. Should we be letting a baby drive? I have procured my learner's permit.
Who is a Dulcie McMahon face?
The better question is, are you a narc? Who goes there?
We're here looking for our brother.
Oh my gosh, hello! My name is Viva! It is so fantastic, amazing to see other trolls!
Did you just braid my hair?
You're welcome. It looks so good.
I love it!
Is your dad King Peppy?
Yeah?
Poppy, I'm your sister.
My what?
Whoa. Hey, man, am I the only one without a long-lost sibling?
This is your second chance with your brothers, Branch.
Bitty B, maybe a smaller diaper.
If this diaper was any smaller, I could taste it.
I know you think it's risky, and maybe it is, but it'll be worth it. Family's always worth it.
You're all I ever wanted.
I can't believe this is really happening!
You're all I ever needed. So tell me what to do.
We still got it.
Looks like your band days aren't behind you.
Just let me take you to a better place. I'm gonna make you kiss the sky tonight.
That was the trailer for Trolls Band Together, rated PG from Universal. And of course, back again is Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake in our lead roles. And they must really enjoy doing these movies, and they do such a wonderful job with them.
Well, and this one, the music, you get a little bit more of the 70s music in it. You know, the new Trolls were more rocker Trolls, and you know, Justin Timberlake was the baby troll and whenever the other band broke up, but now they got to come back and
save their brothers.
Yeah, so just a fun movie though. If you enjoy the music of all of the Troll movies, you may even want to go back and watch the other two just to sort of get all the feeling together, have you a big Saturday night Troll Fest.
That's right. You know, Trolls were big back in the dolls back in the 90s, because I had them at the record shop and I sold them, and I still got some where they're getting married or they're in Santa suit. You know, they put them out for every which way, Valentine's, and
they sure did.
I think it was Applause maybe that put them out.
I think so, and you know, of course, then even in the 60s you had them, but they were not all dressed up and all that stuff then.
No, they were pretty much just plastic with wild hair.
Yeah, you know, so, but the Trolls definitely have emerged since then, and even the ones out of the 80s.
True.
You know, but hey, you know, you didn't have Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick doing their voices then either.
You know, I didn't realize how accomplished Justin Timberlake was until I never looked him up for the other movies, but I did this time, and he is probably one of the top artists of all time for awards and nominations for awards, and very wealthy.
Well, and it's definitely helped Memphis out a lot.
He has. He gives back to Memphis.
So, of course, we don't hear nothing about, wasn't Britney Spears from down in that area too?
Yeah, you know, they dated for a while. That's a whole different set of
we'll leave that
circumstances.
alone.
That's right. Well, that was the Trolls Band Together. Now, our last movie today probably going to hit a nerve with a lot of people, and based on a true story. So let's take a look at the trailer for Flowers of the Killer Moon.
Whose land is this?
My land.
Well, 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 our war hero has arrived. You made a good choice coming back here. Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth. They outsmarted everybody. They have the say who gets the oil. Son, I got a question. You like women?
That's my weakness.
Well, we mix these families together, and that estate money flows the right direction. It'll come to us.
Shomikasi. That's how you are.
I don't know what you said, but it must have been Indian for handsome devil.
Why did you come here?
I work with my uncle.
You scared of him?
Oh, he's the nicest man in the world. The Osage,
Their time is over. We got to take back control of our home.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
We have so many deaths we've lost count.
It's just bad luck.
Seems more like an epidemic than bad luck to me.
Osage is dying by the enemy. Do not let them die alone.
Evil surrounds my heart.
You gotta pick a side.
I don't even know if you love me anymore.
Of course I love you.
And kill these men who killed my family.
Did your wife say who she was most afraid of?
Don't do something you're gonna regret for the rest of your life.
I ain't got nothing but regret.
That was a trailer for Flowers of the Killer Moon, rated R from Paramount. This stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone in our lead roles. And not an easy watch if you're a Leonardo DiCaprio fan for the part he played in this one.
No, and his part was that, you know, he come back from World War I, had been injured over there, so he couldn't do a lot of manual labor since then. But what does he do? He comes back, his uncle says, hey, let me get you a job. We're going to put you out here doing this and stuff. And this is set, what, like 1920, early 20?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So oil was discovered on the reservation out there. This was some of the poorest land in Oklahoma, and here the Indians had it, the Osage tribe. And all of a sudden, once oil got hit, money was flowing to the Indian nation of, and of course, like any other thing, if money's flowing, corruption starts flowing too.
That's right. You know, and our American government, even though these people were basically millionaires, would not let them spend their own money.
Yeah.
They ruled every penny that they spent. And some of them didn't even have food.
Well, and unfortunately, they say that that is still going on to this very day on some of these reservations, is the conditions are not near what people want to assume.
Right, just because we're in the 21st century.
Right. Of course, this is a Martin Scorsese film. And I don't know how many times him and Robert De Niro's worked together.
Oh, I don't know. And he and Leonardo DiCaprio has worked together a couple times.
Right, but I'd say putting them two on the same set and that great of a director had to be a very touchy situation to put everybody into the right workings and stuff. Well,
haven't Leonardo and Robert worked together on another movie?
It seems like it, but you know, then you get all of a sudden this big director that's going in here with his vision, and if you watch as the film progresses, because this is a long film, what, right, 3.5 hours right at, DiCaprio's facial image and facial, features start mimicking his uncle De Niro's as the film goes on. So, you know, of course, I think that all of these may end up getting some nominations.
Well, I believe they have.
So we'll have to be looking for them.
Well, I know Flowers of the Killer Moon has garnered, I think, 10.
So, and I think, you know, of course, the Lily Gladstone character is just, she does a remarkable job.
She does. But there again, Leonardo was left out of any nominations.
Oh, hey, you know.
They slot him all the time.
Yeah, man, you know, hey, they figure they give it to him on The Revenant. He's all right. You know, Robert De Niro got The Raging Bull. He's okay too.
We can nominate him, but they just can't win another
That's right.
award.
You know,
or be like Tom Hanks. He's won enough, so he don't deserve another one.
So, but take a look at this movie. It's a history lesson.
Look it up, research it.
Right.
Research about the Osage Indians.
Mhm.
There's a guy comes in the video, he's waiting for this movie because he lived in Osage, Oklahoma growing up, and he wants to see this.
So, hey, we'll be glad to get him hooked up, or anybody else out there that'd like to get hooked up with him.
That's right. But before we close today, I'd like to take a moment to say something about Toby Keith passing this week.
Yeah, and we may even come back and do a special on some of the acting that he did to go along with his music career.
That would be a good idea. Maybe we could get Kelvin to play a little bit of his music. I know they're limited because of copyrights and
Yeah.
stuff, but just want to mention Toby's passing.
Yeah.
He was, when I had the record shop, he was one of my better selling country artists, and he did play here in McMinnville up at Pishlick High one time.
When he was early in his career.
Early in his career, I think. Who's Your Daddy was his big song, or had just hit, or
Right, or should have been a cowboy or one of them.
yeah,
But I sure remember that.
yeah.
But
Well, that's it for us today on Reels to Rentals. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope to see you back next week.